My name is Mami Umwa. I am in the mix with my ladies, my girls, Abna Moe, aka Lodina, as well as Ganyobi Achawa. I love how today you're on your best behavior. Masters holder, thank you. Ganyobi Achawa, aka TikTok following on 200K.
No, 330K.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi everyone. Good evening.
President General among the nation.
Thank you.
Salute you.
Please, we would allow you to introduce yourself, what you do, what you're about, and then of course we'll have a cute chit chat with you as well before we proceed.
Thank you, Mary. My name is Speaker Helen. People normally call me Speaker. I'm an inspirational activist, mostly on Facebook and TikTok. I inspire people. It's a natural gift that I have. I counsel people. People get in touch with me with some few issues, and I give them guidelines, one or two. Yes, and that's what I do.
How did this whole ministry? I'll say ministry because it's something.
It's a calling. It's a calling.
How did it start for you?
It started way back years, but at that time social media hasn't really evolved for me. So once in a while, those who know my Facebook page, you can go back there and you see I've written some deep quotes. Usually I can be just, we are here chit chatting, and then it just dropped in my spirit. So I just go on Facebook, I just type it there. But over the years, I decided that no, I think I need to work on this. But I also encountered a man of God who said, listen, you have a certain gift, because someone can casually get in touch with me and say, oh, Speaker, you know, I have this problem. I'll just give a casual advice. But they'll call me back and say, like, I thought of what you said and it really worked. So I realized that it's a gift that God gave to me. So I had to work on it. So I decided that I had to take it out there on social media and then work on it. And finally, thank God, it has picked up for me. People are getting to love me and support me. So yeah, here now.
I mean, the whole notion of you being a speaker is to make great impact.
Yes.
For you, what would be your best highlight yet since you actually took on this role?
My best highlight is just call me and say, what you told me worked for me. The advice you gave to me, I implemented it and it worked. And it makes my day most of the time when I get those compliments. Usually I have a separate contact that I've put out there, and I always have messages. It just makes me, you know, get fulfilled. It's not paying as in cash or something, but you are making an impact in someone's life by sometimes your own experiences. They get to use your own experience to help themselves.
So for counselors, it's like people don't expect you to have problems. Do you have problems, and then how do you solve them?
We do have a lot of problems. You see, let me be frank, Ghanaians, we shouldn't expect that people are perfect. If I give you an advice that, you know, for you to have disciplined children, let them learn from you. When they do something, say, oh, that's good, you are doing well. Achawa, thank you for bringing me the water. In relation to your children, they are learning. That doesn't mean that I'm always able to execute that in my home.
The leadership, for example, if you're telling me to do something and you're not practicing it in your home.
Exactly. But then you see, we want to have perfection. That is our problem. We can't always have it perfect, but we keep trying each and every day that our homes will be better, our children will be better, whatever we are doing will be better. You know, for example, of the counselor's issue that happened, I was so broken when people are saying, oh, now listen, I'm not a counselor. Mine is a natural gift though, but even though I'm able to advise people, I felt broken. People were like, oh, you're advising people and you can't fix your own home. Fixing a home is two people. A home is a man and a woman. But truthfully, most of the time, if you go into their case, one is not ready to budge. So then it will break up. But if I am able to, okay, listen, I have to calm down. The man is like, okay, I have to calm down so that we solve. But if one is not willing to let go, it won't work. And to look like, oh, Speaker Helen is a lie, she couldn't even fix her home. Oh, the Chawa is a lie, she couldn't fix her own. It doesn't happen like that. It's two people. So you need to agree and you can be able to solve problems. That's what happens.
But on a brighter note, what are your expectations for tonight's show?
Tonight I was given a very interesting topic. So I am hyper at this moment. I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping for the best. From not especially
President General.
for the nation.
I'm not so quiet in the mirror today. What's the secret? What's happening?
Changed.
Okay, well, as you can see, we're very much prepared for tonight's show. But before anything, let me acknowledge our proud sponsors. We have Cricklebar. Speaking of Cricklebar, it's one of the things that I actually really look forward to when it comes to the show. I wonder why. Hair relaxer cream as well for making the show possible. But before anything, I'm not even going to drop the champagne. Let's have a moment. What are you doing? What do you bring to the table? To some women especially, this question sounds rude or insensitive, whilst to others, they are more than happy to list the values they bring to a relationship. Usually when men ask women this, it often comes across with a deep tone, almost like an interview for a job that's already emotionally taxing. But is this a fair or legitimate question? Or is it a rooted in control, insecurity, or outdated gender roles? Well, tonight we unpack this loaded question and find out if it's a valid concern or just a subtle way of asking women to prove their worth. Well, my co-host and I are very excited to share our perspective on this topic. Later in the show, we'll also bring you the male perspective on this subject matter. And of course, we have speaker here who will be diluting the sounds and making sure that we're all, you know, I mean, I'm looking forward to your inputs, but I'm really looking forward to my ladies' inputs as well. And of course, to you at home, do well to get interactive with us on all our social media platforms at GHOne Television. And let's keep the hashtag going, hashtag toast. So, let me start with you. This particular question, when you hear someone ask, what do you bring to the table? What's your first reaction?
First of all, if someone is asking that, it only means they want security and they want support. But then again, the moment you ask me what I'm bringing to the table, then it means that we have agreed that we are going to work on a table. But I also did a small research and I realized that the table we are talking about, if you are not careful, the table belongs to one person or nobody. Let me explain what I'm trying to say. The moment you ask me, oh, Achua, let's cook jollof together, or let's do jollof, you didn't say together, then I know, oh, okay, I have rice, I have oil, chance I have chicken, I have this, then we know you're going to make jollof together. At the end of the day, if you finish preparing the jollof, either Achua takes the whole pot, runs away with it. You say, oh, but I didn't think we are going to eat the jollof together. I said, let's prepare jollof together. I am trying to caution most of us now that the moment you mention table, first of all, agree with whoever is asking that question. Does that table belongs to us? The table, is it for both of us or is for one? Because most of the time you end up bringing the thing to the table, one person takes the table, they are off. Because you are looking for my support, you are looking for my security. So I'm going to put in my time, I'm going to put in my energy, I'm going to put in my resources, anything you can think of. Because the moment you ask that question, it means that, okay, we are going to do this together. So we shouldn't talk amiss. You need to be sure that the table we are talking about, does the table belong to us? When you have been able to answer that question right now, the table belongs to us, then okay, I know I can bring this glass, I can bring this wine, I can bring this rice, I can bring that.
But do you also not feel as if this particular question, what do you bring to the table, is usually for one to measure how much they would respect you or how they will actually value you? I think sometimes it's more to do with them than to do with the other party. Because another question is, how old are you? If you meet somebody and the person asks you, how old are you? I feel like personally with this question, they're usually trying to see, I just met this person. I want to see
how mature they are, what they can
matured.
do.
What kind of respect?
What kind of respect? So if you meet someone and the person is telling you that, what do you bring to the table? They're basically trying to see your accolades to see, okay, we may buna na min bunu. That's just my perspective. But what do you think on this note?
That's what I'm saying. So they want support, they want security, they want to know, just like you are saying, they want to know what you are worth. But you see, I would advise that most often, don't just come out and say, oh, okay, I can do this, I can do that. If the person asking the question is trying to be cunning or trying to be smart, you also need to be smarter. It's not like you're also going to ask back, okay, what are you also going to bring to the table? But when you ask me that kind of question, I'm going to look at you in a certain way. Of course, it feels offensive. But then again, whatever you are expecting me, are you going to bring equal? Let us be real. When a man asks a woman, what are you bringing to the table? They want to think, oh, okay, can you take care of the kids when I'm not there? Can you take care of the home? Can you cook? Can you clean the house? Can you do this? Because now most of the women, oh, I can't cook. What I know is Indomie. I'm going to get Indomie. I can't do this. I can't do that. So they want to know exactly what you can do before they decide, okay, I'm in with you, Moe, or I am out. That is their intention. So the main reason is they want support and they want security. They want, gone are the days when a man approaches a woman and it's the man's responsibility to do everything. Everything as in, I have to take care of your education, I have to provide shelter for you, I have to provide food for you. Now things are not like that. So a man will say, oh, I want a woman who is, no, they want a woman who can also pay the bills, who can also support the school fees, who can also support you so many things. And that is why most often the men ask those kind of questions. And they want to know that, okay, it's going to be a 50-50 thing. Gone are the days where I have to do it alone and the woman have to be there and I provide. That is the main reason why they want security, they want support from the women.
I get what you're saying, but do you also not feel as if this particular question, I understand why women get really rubbed off the wrong way when men say, what do you bring to the table? Because I feel like, personally, there are ways to get to know someone without you just asking them, what do you bring to the table? The moment you ask me, what do you bring to the table, I feel like you've already measured. It's like you've already measured me low, and you expect me to sell myself to you, to bring myself to your pedals. So do you not think that there's other ways of actually going about this question, or you think rightfully men and our women are in the right capacity to actually ask another male or female that what do you bring to the table?
Asking that question is wrong in the first place. You don't need to ask. You see, we learn. If I get to know you today, by a thing or two that you say, I get to know you. I don't know you, but I get to know, okay, Mommy is like this. Based on the things Achua will say, I get to know, okay, Achua is like this, or Moe is like this. So you just give the person time. But with the moment you ask that question outright, that, oh, Moe, what are you bringing to the, what will you do if I'm dating you? What are you also going to contribute? It's offensive. It's just needed to be asked.
Ask a man that, what would you do for me? Can't a man also ask a woman? Can't a man also ask a woman? Maybe not necessarily ask her, what do you bring to the table? So for me personally, I think when a man asks me, what do I bring to the table? This is a man who wants to do little and expects more from me. However, is there a better way a man can ask a woman that? Maybe what are some of your qualities? What are some of, like, are you emotionally stable? Do you have some type of trauma? Is there a particular way we can put that phrase? Because just asking someone like, what do you bring to the table sounds so strict.
But you personally, how do you put such a question out to your partner if you want?
If I want to ask him, what do you bring to the table? Are you a very generous person? Do you believe in gifts? What's the most expensive thing you bought for someone? Do you love your mother? Do you have a sister? Yeah, that's what I would ask.
I mean, my producer wants to ask that. How is this? What do you bring to the table? But I get what you're saying.
You see,
I mean,
when
these
I
are
ask
questions that you want to know. If I'm asking you, what do you bring to the table? These are things that I probably want you to.
If I should ask a man, what do you bring to the table?
It's an insult.
I'm trying to know whether he's a man that has a provider mindset, whether he's a man that can lead, whether he's a man that loves his mother. One thing I always look out for in a man is if a man respects and loves his mother, I know he will do same. If a man does not love and respect his mother, I don't care what it is. This is a man that I can trust. I don't know what anyone else will say, but from where I sit now, I know that men who love and respect their mother, even if they are very bad, they have some type of empathy when it comes to women. So I would want to know what you can, I will not say what you can do for me, but what are we doing? You understand? So I would not ask you what you bring to the table, but I would have other ways of getting to know whether what I'm looking for in a man, that is leadership, providing, being there for me emotionally, is what you have. If you don't have it, then we don't have any business to be together.
Abna, did your husband ever ask you what you bring to the table during your courtship stage? Mm-mm. Did you ever date anyone that ever asked you this question? Mm-mm. Okay.
I think once you're getting to know somebody, like, those things just come into play. Like, when I talk to you long enough, I won't ask you what you're bringing to the table, or you won't ask me what do you do?
No, yeah.
What do you do? There are questions you ask somebody, or when you're together with somebody, it just comes with time. Like, there are certain things I know about you now that it's not like you necessarily wrote myself for me, but it's like hanging out with you and then talking to you often will let me know certain things about you. So yeah, I don't think anybody really.
Can we also agree? I mean, so to conclude, is it a right or a wrong way to ask
the question? What you bring to the table? It's wrong. It's disrespectful.
You may mention that, sometimes by getting to know someone, you get to know them. Can we also agree that, especially when you're getting to know the person to move things onto the next stage, it goes beyond their personality. It goes beyond deep-rooted conversations that you probably want to have, i.e. maybe, what do you bring to the table? Okay, when we get married, what's your thoughts on 50-50? What's your thoughts on this? What's your thought? So it goes beyond just the personality traits that the person carries. It goes deep-rooted into their perception on certain conversations and certain ideas on even raising up a family or anything like that. So I think maybe, I'm not saying it's the right thing to ask, but maybe depending on the conversation. I want to know, maybe, of course, I'm in a relationship, I'm getting to know the person. I know he's an amazing person, blah, blah, blah. See, not every person that has money is generous. Yeah. So me dating someone that has money doesn't automatically mean that this person is a generous person. So if I'm having this conversation with the person, I'm trying to find out that, okay, what do you bring to the table, but what's your thoughts on paying school fees? Because I was speaking to one of my female friends, and she's married, and she was saying that she pays the school fees for her kids, and this is a conversation that they had prior, and it all boiled down from the what do you bring to the table. After they had this conversation, she realized that her husband believes in education, but he really doesn't believe in the quality. He doesn't believe in every education is education. But she grew up from a wealthy family, and she believes that, okay, I need to pay more, I need to invest in my kids'
child's education.
So the man said to him that, okay, cool, I don't mind paying XYZ, But since it's a priority for you to invest in the kid's life, maybe that should be your. And the girl said, okay, sure. So it all boils down to what do you bring to the. They had this conversation, so they were able to have a meeting ground.
Maybe they didn't use
I was about to say that. Like I said, talking to you will let me know things about you. There's certain things that you don't need to ask. You don't need anybody. You don't need Jesus Christ to come down for you to know that Achawa wants a man who will do everything for her. She will cook. She has said it here so many times. Mommy, you don't even need to ask this man if he's generous. When you're with a person and he's rich and he doesn't buy you anything, when you ask him for something, he doesn't give it to you. Do you need to ask this man, would you give me something when we marry, before you know that this man will not give you anything? When you're dating a woman, let's say there are some men who say that they believe in women giving them something. I have a friend who will call me and be like, I've been dating this girl for so long. She has never bought anything for me. Do you think she loves me? This guy doesn't need to sit down with this girl for him to know that this woman doesn't believe in giving a man a gift. That means that when you marry her, you should know at the back of your mind that her money is her money, your money is our money. So there are certain, I feel like when you get to know somebody, there are certain things that you don't have to ask. Because, mommy, I could easily say things to please you just to get you.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? It's actions that speak better. So if I am telling you, oh, I believe in education, I want to educate our kids, blah, 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 and you believe it, but then maybe you are watching this abacus maths on this new thing, and I'm like, this is all a waste of money. Do you need me to come and tell you that?
Yeah. You know, before we even came here, I was asking some gentlemen that what will warrant him to ask the wife or the girlfriend, what do you bring to the table? And what he said is that if the only thing the girl brings to the relationship is just sex, it will prompt him to ask the lady that, aside sex, what else can you do for me? And the other thing is when the guy realized that the girl does not bring anything, just like you said, he's dating this girl, all the girl does is take away.
No give.
The guy would also want to warrant, the guy would want to ask the girl, what do you bring to the table? So I think that what you bring to the table is something that we might ask directly or indirectly. But just meeting a guy for a first time, like on a first date, I go on a date with a guy for the first time, and he asks me, what do you bring to the table?
Has anyone asked you that question before?
No one has asked me that question before.
Have you asked that question? Because I can see you asking a question like that.
Well, that's why I said I would not directly ask you what do you bring to the table, but I would want to know, like, who you are, what you believe in. Just like you said, a man that wants 50-50 is absolutely not my type of person. I think that was the last time I asked you, what do you mean by act of service? Like, and you were talking about the fact that if your man helps you with chores, it won't mean anything to me. If I come home and my man has washed the plates, we all did the thing, we all cooked, and it won't mean anything to me. But if you buy me gifts, you buy me ticket, like that, like something that you do that benefits me only, I will feel that is what you are doing for me to enjoy. So we all come from different perspectives, and that's what I think.
So I read a comment online, and I saw that a lady said that any woman that would ask a man, what do you bring to the table, is a gold digger, because you're indirectly trying to find out what the person can do that will benefit you.
It was a girl that said
But
this.
you see, when you're dating a man, you need to be sure of what the man can do for you. You are not just dating the man for dating's sake. Of course, probably you are a student.
So how come we want to be sure, but we're also scared to put it out there to say, okay, what do you bring to the table? It's like we want to know this information, but we're also trying to conceal the fact that this is the goal that we're actually trying to attain. Maybe it's a disrespectful way, or maybe it's an insensitive way of putting it.
Yes.
But the goal is to find out what you bring to the table.
Yeah.
So the phrase sounds odd.
So I have a video all the way from Nigeria that I want you to check it out. Let's take a quick look at it.
I've always heard this saying that it's a man's world, and I have come in my 30-something years to believe that it's actually a man's world. It's not a woman's world. You know why? Because women suffer so much in this world. We suffer so much in this world, and we have nothing to show for all our suffering. The woman will clean, the woman will cook, the woman will nurture, the woman will even pamper the man. The woman will get pregnant, the woman will bear the kids. The woman will raise the kids. The woman will do everything. Do you know what it takes to have kids? You look at that woman and call her shapeless. You tell her, look at how your tummy is. You're very ugly.
Well, that is Nigerian actress Uche Ogbodo, and in her recent Instagram video expressing her opinion on who brings more to the table. Achawa, I know you have a lot to say.
I don't know what to say. Don't put anything in my mouth.
Achawa, what do you make of her opinion on some of the things she mentioned? And I mean, I don't know how I feel about
So
her
you
video,
see, whatever she said is true. Okay. Because I'm not going to use bad mommy. Don't put words in my mouth. Leave me alone.
That's one question. You said plenty things.
What I'm saying is
It's
that
like you migrated from Abula to you. Isn't it close proximity?
you see, whatever she said is true. However, okay, when it comes to a relationship, the woman, especially when it comes to marriage, the woman puts in more than the man. That is why I personally have a problem when it comes to 50-50. A man cannot tell me that you want us to have a 50-50 financially, but when we're doing the laundry, I have to do it 100%. When we're doing the cooking, I have to do it 100%. If you want a 50-50 relationship, it should cut across everything. When maybe I bath the kids, you feed them, I take them to school, you pick them up. And when it comes to this particular actress, I know her because I follow her on Instagram. She got married, or she had a baby with a young gentleman, and it looked like she was putting in more in the relationship than the gentleman. And you see, naturally, women, when they give too much and they don't receive, they are frustrated. Watching this video, you could see that she's coming from a lot of pain and a lot of regret. That is why, as a woman, it is your decision to choose who you give your womb to.
She sounds bitter. Probably, if we should really enter into a home, you can find out she's living with a man who wasn't raised helping in the home.
There are men who are raised helping.
That's what I'm saying. If you should handle her case critically, you know that probably 99% sure that she was married or dating a man who wasn't raised helping.
No, you see, we shouldn't always blame the parents. Some people go up and
you can't do what you don't know. If I was raised from a home where I saw my mom always cooking for my daddy, oh, the papa, food is ready. I came from a home where daddy is always comfort. Oh, baby, you're looking nice, you know. As a child, I will grow up having that mentality that when I'm dating Achawa, your hair looks beautiful.
Thank you.
I didn't just know that. I saw it with my eyes and I learnt it. And so most of the time, the men we live with, they were not raised like, they don't know how to help a woman who has a baby. And then probably you are stressed up, you are putting on weight. Now he feels like going outside to go for a size 8 and you are offended. We need to change that narrative. He wasn't raised like that. So it will take a time or some kind of education to change the men, or probably if it's the opposite, to change their minds that, listen, this is how it's done. If not, we'll continue to have bitter men, we'll continue to have bitter women all over the place, and it will never change.
So in a nutshell, we shouldn't ignore red flags when we see them.
I think the problem is in Africa, we train our daughters and then we love our sons. Because majority of the times you grow up in a home and you realize that the things your little brother is allowed to do, you're not allowed to do. He can go out and play the whole day, you're not. When there's cooking going on in the kitchen,
you do it alone.
They call everybody except the male. When they are teaching everybody how to wash, you would wash your brother's clothes because he is a boy. And then we do that from infancy. And then we say, oh, Bema dear, oh, Bema dear. And then even when they're wrong, the way our mothers would, when we're wrong, the way our mothers would chastise us. When they're like, Bema dear, Bema dear, so when they grow up,
I'm glad you made mention of this. There was a particular comment under this post that got my attention. I don't know if you can have it on the screen, but it reads, Madam, before you marry, you know they clean. No, before you marry, you know they clean. You know they cook. Madam, take care of your man and stop complaining. Abna, really and truly, if you were doing all this for yourself before marriage, why should it feel like a favor, or you are doing your husband a favor? You made mention that, you know, we train our daughters, and the reason why we train our daughters, in my perspective, is because women have to go out there and make a home. You know, men are supposed to be providers. What's cooking got to do with a man? Do you get it? Unless maybe the man is going to a university and they'll probably end up going into they'll move outside the house to go and live alone. But it's not really a necessity for them.
It is.
So if for you as a woman, you need to learn how to cook. like you made mention, you need to learn how to clean. You need to learn how to control your finances, know how to, like, you know, budget, put things on budget for the house and everything.
What does the man learn?
I'm coming. If you as a woman, you know how to do all of this, and you're doing it for yourself naturally,
Why is it a problem doing it for somebody? Because, mommy, when I clean my house and I leave, and I am alone, when I come back, it's the same thing. When I am alone, I know that if I cook rice and it's in my fridge, I can eat it for 3 days. I don't mind. When I am alone, I know that I don't have to cook for myself every day. I don't have to wash. And washing is not a hobby. It's a chore. I mean, I am the kind of person that right after washing, I'll get sores all over my wrists. So I am washing 2 clothes at first, but because of you, I'm washing 5. I used to clean my living room 3 times in a week. Because of you, I have to do it every morning. I didn't have to make breakfast for myself. I could easily eat wachi. But you said you grew up with English breakfast. I have to make it for you every day. That is when it becomes a problem. And then
but you love cooking, because
I don't love cooking. Nobody loves cooking, man. Like I said, it's not a hobby, it's a chore. Now, Jenna Kuanida. Who loves that thing?
No, but the more they train you to do something, the more you actually
the more they train you to go to. If they train you to go to prison every day, will you like it?
Who trains someone to go to prison?
If you are trained in bondage, would you love bondage? Nobody would love it.
You get used to bondage.
You don't love it,
mommy. If you wake up one day and you're like, so what do you bring to the table? I feel like it's an insult. It's the kind of insults that when partners are fighting, they're like, even you cry, what do you bring to the table?
That is the only time this thing pops up. Nobody sees somebody and says, what do you bring to the table? What kind of stupid ass question?
What the woman is also bringing to the table to ascertain how long and then how far the woman is going to, live with you. But sometimes we as a Muslim I am, we believe in taking full responsibility of the woman, you understand? Though we don't actually want to know if she's going to help financially or, in anything monetary, you understand? But we would appreciate if the woman at least is going to understand you, the man, and then help you in whatever you are doing so that you can, keep up the house just as you plan to.
Yeah, marriage is more or less an investment enterprise. And in an investment, each partner brings something to the table, or what we call shares. So once you invest in that enterprise, that is where your heart will be. So certainly you will nurture the marriage to sustainability of friendship.
That was a very interesting one.
Absolutely.
Do you think that this whole question of what do you bring to the table is just a mere checklist to just make one feel better, or one measure how much they want to respect you or the value they want to place on you?
Yeah, like I've always said, mommy, I always say that relationships and marriage and love has always been transactional since time immemorial. You're giving, like, I like you because of something, you're also giving me something. It has always been like that. So, and then there is nothing called unconditional love. There is, we are not Jesus Christ. There is nothing. Mommy, there is nothing on this earth. Like, when somebody says, I will love you through everything,
I disagree, but okay.
If you go and cheat, go and put this. When I say unconditional love, it means no matter what you do,
I love you.
I am with you.
I can do that.
Like, if you like disgrace yourself, if you like disgrace me, that is unconditional. That is unconditional love. So there is love is conditional.
So the
relationships
a mother's love to a child, is it also conditional?
Yes, it could be. Like some people, your mother loves you because she gave birth to you. That is why she. If you think if your mother didn't give birth to you, you think she would love you like that.
So there's a condition to it.
Yes,
She gave birth to you.
Because she gave birth to you, like you are the mini her. Like she doesn't have a choice. And even with that, you get people that say, "I don't think my mother loves me." There's not every mother that loves their child. So on this entire way, dear. I mean, we might not necessarily ask you to your face because it's rude that what you bring to the table, but we're always expecting something. That is how come you can see somebody and they're nice, they're flashy on the outside. They get to know them, realize that,
She make it try.
Thank you. Why don't you love them unconditionally? See?
Ashawa, let me ask you this. Finally, is there a better way of asking what do you bring to the table instead of asking it directly in that manner?
Okay, so first, be very observant.
Okay.
Look at the way they treat other people who can't do anything for them. For instance, when they go to the restaurant, how they treat the waitress. Secondly, look at how you feel when you're around them.
My better way of asking is, can I depend on you? Have you got me?
What do you bring to the table?
Yes, can I depend? When I say can I depend on you, it's not just emotional.
Mommy, you know people can lie.
It means financially. It means physically. It means spiritual. It means
everything.
Can I have you
can
got
I depend on you? No.
Yes,
Maybe
you can depend on me.
The person feels like you can depend on me spiritually, but financially you can't depend on me. But I'll tell you that you can depend on me.
when you ask somebody, can I depend on you? You see automatically it generated a follow-up question. So you'd be like,
maybe your
depend on me.
Wait, hold on. Maybe perhaps your definition of dependable, depending, might be different from mine. Maybe your definition of dependent can just be finances and spiritually. Mine could be depend on me as in emotionally. It's all dependence.
Mommy, and also people can lie. So as much as you are asking the questions, you need to be observant.
The question was, what is another way to ask? It's not about whether they lie or not.
I get you.
The question is, what is another way to ask somebody what they bring to the table? Okay. But that is why I'm saying that, because usually when you say that to somebody, it generates like a full of, depend on me how. Then
can
I'm like, financially, physically, like, will you be there? Can I
count on you day and night?
Will you show up for me when I need you?
Anytime.
Have you got me?
Yeah.
I think it's short, but they will get it.
Yeah, I got you on me. What's a better way to ask this question?
I had wanted to borrow her words, but I think asking, I agree with her. Probably, will you be there for me? Do you have my back? Can I count on you? Can I trust you any day, anytime? Can I fall on you? And based on the response that you give me, like I try to say, if you ask that question, then the person wants clarity and want to ask, what do you mean by that? Are you talking about finances? Are you talking about physical? Are you talking about emotional? Then you can continue to elaborate more and say, I mean in terms of this, in terms of, I mean, when my rent is due, like I want someone who support me, when my school fees, and then the man will be like,
Then Mommy Cinderella.
The moment the man does that, and that reaction, you know that,
well, for me, I think that if you want to find out what someone brings to the table and you don't want to sound rude, there should be a clear line, clear definition. Go straight to the point. Say it with your chest. Which one is? Can I depend on me? Me. If all the questions I want to know, that falls underneath. What do you bring to the table? I'll ask. What do you bring to the table? I.e., okay, cool. So, what's your thoughts on living with kids, raising your children? What's your thoughts on splitting bills? What's your thoughts on? I'm not necessarily
so like all of this for.
No.
What is another way you ask?
But when you're dating, when you're courting someone, there comes a time in your life with the person where you guys will have a moment where
you have to have that conversation.
You're having that conversation. There's a time where the man can even say, okay, we need to talk about something. What is this about? Maybe he's thinking marriage. He's thinking even before men propose to a woman, they have this conversation with you. You might not see it, but whilst they're talking to you, they're marking they're ticking. They're not asking you that what do you bring to the table, but per your response, they're able to determine to say, okay, this is the person I want to settle with. So in that conversation, instead of saying what do you bring to the table, no, I feel like what you bring to the table is only used when you want to be insulting to the other, when there's an issue and you want to just throw it in the person's face. And are you what do you bring to the table? And keep it moving. But when you want to ask the person what do you bring to the table, what's your thoughts on this? What's your thoughts about once I give birth, my mom coming to live with us? What's your thoughts on me not working for a year or two once I decide to use the year or two to give birth? Then you get per the response that he gives you, you'll be able to know. So some men can be like, oh, I don't believe that my wife should stay at home after 6 months of giving birth, because why are you staying at home? We've got bills to pay. Some men will be like, once you give birth, first child, second child, I don't even want you working. Do you get it? From all these conversations, you get to actually hear his thoughts on things. It helps you, it helps him. It's beneficial because you actually have a clear definition on what his expectations are. Even if he's lying to you, in future you can always look back and be like, but you said XYZ. But when you say, can I depend on you? Okay, he doesn't give up a follow-up question. So you decide to move on. Okay, he said yes. Depend on you for what exactly.
I was answering you. Let me say this. I think that creating scenarios can also be a point. You were talking about the fact of the rent. So, for instance, I come to you and I say maybe my rent is due. I want to see how you're going to react to it. By reacting to it, I'll know whether you are a provider man or you're not. So sometimes we also have to create the scenario so that depending on how they handle it, we'll know what their type of answers. We'll know the answers to the questions we've been asking.
Anyways, guys, we're going for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Don't change the channel.
Can we make a toast for the ladies?
Toast right here on GH1 television. My name is Mami Inimwabekon. Tonight's game is called Music Quiz. Get ready, warm up those ears, and let's see who's got the best music memory in this room. A short snippet of a popular song will be played, but at some point will be paused, and our job is to listen carefully and guess the correct title of the song. Take note, not the artist, just the title. Now here is the twist. You only shout your answer when the song is paused. The first person to guess the name of the title of the song correctly immediately after the pause wins that round. We have 5 songs lined up for this segment. And ladies, are we ready?
Yes, we're ready.
Okay, let's do this.
Why do I feel like I've lost already?
Just the title.
Hits.
You guys don't know the title.
Wait, let's go again.
Hits.
Hits, yeah, hits.
Sika.
Hits.
Yeah, hating.
Shandong.
Okay, now let's sing the next song.
Yeah.
Paris.
Huh?
Paris.
Okay, producer, what's the right? You said you small balls, are they?
Yes.
Okay, can we have the next song?
Every time he's here.
No, I start from the left first. Let's go.
I wanna be with you.
I wanna be with you. No worries.
I have no idea what the title is.
How do I not remember the title? It's
How come?
ridiculous.
Oh, this one I know it.
Ah,
Mommy, say it. Eh?
no, I know. No, don't say it.
Be with you.
Ah. How?
Producer, is it sugar cane?
Sugar cane. Sugar cane.
How I didn't get that?
Hurry up, can we have the next song, please?
It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true.
Okay, always give me sentence.
It's body on my body. I can't.
We're not to Papa.
Can we have the next song? And this one that you copied.
Always rent free.
Rent free.
Do you have another song?
We've done 5.
Okay, so this is the last song. So
Yeah.
you gotta give it your all.
But I'm wanting to marry.
There's always a take home when it comes to toast. We've said a whole lot. We've given our opinions. But what's your final say on this particular topic?
What I would encourage everyone to do is to be smart, be open-minded. Don't think things for granted. Whenever you are dating someone, pay attention to every little details, because trust me, one day it will come back to you. If the woman doesn't cook, doesn't clean, when you marry, the probability that she won't cook or clean. If a man doesn't provide for you, when you marry, there's a probability that he's not going to provide for you. There are so many things that you need to look out for. The unforeseen might happen, but as you are dating now, whatever you are expecting to be on that table, you should be seeing those signs now or today, so that in the future, when you get that table, those things will be on the table. When you put a blind eye to those things, trust me, when you get there, the table will be empty.
Never allow anyone to make you feel like you're asking too much questions, or you asking questions that may sound like what you bring to the table is wrong. You actually be doing yourself so much disservice by not asking. And when you do ask, make sure that you have a clear definition of what your intentions are and what they hope to acquire in whatever situation or whatever you have going on with them. But before anything, let me say a very huge thank you to my producer, Nakwale, for making this show possible. Please, can we clap for her? Clap for her. Thank you very much. And to GBH Hair Relaxer Cream, and of course to Crickover for making this show priceless and giving us an awesome moment with Crickover. Can we toast to life?
Hey, why is your glass?
And to you at home, thank you so much for making this show possible. Until next week, enjoy your week. We'll see you soon.